It's a cold, stormy night just off the coast of Florida in 1622. A Spanish cargo ship heavy with gold and silver is fighting to make its way back to Spain. But as it sails through the Straits of Florida, it runs straight into a powerful hurricane. The towering waves tear apart its masts, rip away its rudder, and within minutes, the Nuestra Señora de Atocha is swallowed by the sea. According to official records, at least $500 million worth of treasure went down that night, and the ship's location soon became a complete mystery. For more than 3 centuries, the Atocha lay hidden beneath the waves, its fortune resting silently on the ocean floor. But centuries later, after years of searching, one man would uncover the motherlode of all treasures, and it would prove to be far more valuable than anyone ever imagined. When the Atocha sank that fateful night, it came to rest on a shallow reef in the Florida Keys, a 200-mile stretch of small, scattered islands. At first, its location was known, and search efforts began immediately. But only a few weeks later, a second hurricane swept through, scattering the wreckage and leaving a long trail of debris across the ocean floor. The Atocha's final resting place was lost forever. Yet, while the ship's location disappeared from history, records of its treasure did not. The cargo manifest listed 150 gold bars, 1,000 silver bars, and more than 50 chests overflowing with coins. In today's value, that would be worth at least $500 million. All that remained was for someone brave and patient enough to find it. That someone was American treasure hunter Mel Fisher. A lifelong diver and explorer, Fisher ran a diving school in California with his wife, where they trained more than 60,000 people. Fascinated by the mystery of the Atocha, Mel packed up his life and moved his entire family to the Florida Keys to search for its treasure. With little more than a small boat and a few metal detectors, the team began their search near the Maritime Keys, a location mentioned in old Spanish records. But after a year of searching more than 100,000 miles of open sea, they found nothing. To most, it seemed impossible to find a single lost ship in such a vast expanse of ocean, but Mel Fisher refused to give up. Fisher's secret weapon came in the form of historian Eugene Lyon, who began digging through old archives in Seville, Spain. There, he uncovered a remarkable document written just 4 years after the Atocha sank. It mentioned a failed Spanish search that had taken place near the Marquesas Keys, more than 100 miles from where Mel had been searching. Excited by this new clue, Mel and his crew immediately moved their search to the new location. However, the deeper waters brought new challenges. The divers could barely see their own hands underwater. To solve this, Mel engineered an ingenious solution. He attached 2 large tubes to his boat's propellers, redirecting clear surface water down to the sea floor. This not only cleared the mud, but also dug holes in the sand, revealing whatever might be buried below. Then, in 1971, the ocean finally gave up its first clue, a massive 17th-century anchor. It wasn't gold or silver, but it was proof that they were searching in the right place. Soon after, more artifacts began to appear: cups, swords, cannonballs, and iron nails, the bones of a long-lost ship. To keep track of their finds, Mel's team mapped each discovery, marking circles where artifacts were located. Over time, a clear pattern emerged, a line of treasure stretching across the ocean floor. Mel became convinced that this line would lead straight to the Atocha's motherlode. For months, the team followed the trail of scattered relics, convinced they were closing in. But years passed, and the treasure remained elusive. The ocean revealed only fragments, never the fortune itself. Then, in 1973, their patience paid off. Just a few hundred feet from where they found the anchor, divers uncovered 3 enormous silver bars and a chest full of Spanish coins, worth over $100,000. Comparing the engravings on the bars with the ship's original cargo manifest confirmed it. The treasure truly belonged to the Atocha. With this validation, Mel and his team regained momentum. They sold some of the silver to fund new technology, including advanced sonar scanners to search deeper into the seabed. As the discoveries grew, so did the challenges. The state of Florida began claiming ownership of all treasure found in its waters, forcing Mel into a long and costly legal battle. Despite the setbacks, his team continued their search, and soon they unearthed 9 bronze cannons engraved with the Atocha's insignia. But tragedy struck just a day later. One of Mel's boats capsized in the night, taking the lives of 3 crew members, including Mel's son. It was a devastating blow that nearly ended the entire mission. Yet even in grief, Mel refused to stop. He was determined to fulfill his dream and his son's. Years passed, and the Atocha still refused to give up its heart. Mel often spoke of a mysterious document written by a survivor of the wreck. According to the account, an admiral had secretly smuggled 70 pounds of the world's finest Colombian emeralds aboard the ship. No one knew if the story was true, but Mel believed the Atocha's treasure went beyond silver and gold. After 8 long years in court, Mel finally won his case, earning full rights to whatever treasure he could find. But by then, he had already spent over $6 million on the search, and the motherlode still hadn't appeared. The team's map of discoveries had gone cold until fate intervened. In 1983, while following their familiar treasure line, Mel's crew noticed something strange on their magnetometer, a strong metallic signal southeast of their previous search area. Divers went down to investigate and found scattered artifacts on the seabed. When plotted on their map, the discoveries formed a new line, one that branched away from the old trail. They realized the second hurricane may have carried part of the wreckage elsewhere, so they followed the new trail for 2 more years, each clue leading them closer to the truth. Then, on July 20th, 1985, exactly 10 years after the tragedy that claimed Mel's son, their sonar detected a large, faint object buried beneath the sand. 2 divers descended into the depths. Guided by instinct, diver Greg Wareham swam 100 yards east, and there it was. Lying before him was the wreck of the Atocha itself, an 80-foot-long hull surrounded by glittering piles of silver bars and chests brimming with coins and gold. After 16 years of relentless searching, they had finally found the motherlode. Among the treasures was a single emerald the size of a thumb, worth over $800,000. Then another appeared, valued at over $1 million. In total, more than 2,000 flawless, uncut emeralds were recovered, proof that the legend was true. Mel Fisher's lifelong dream had come to life, and the world's most valuable shipwreck had finally been found. The story of the Atocha is one of passion, loss, and incredible determination. Mel Fisher proved that even the deepest mysteries of the ocean can be solved with enough patience and courage. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing historical discoveries and forgotten treasures of the deep.